I have this large galvanized bottle cap. I get these from the Dollar Tree in the Dollar Plus section. I'm going to remove the hanger from the top of the bottle cap. And on the inside, I'm going to paint using some Wise Owl Snow Owl. Now, I am going to put a protective cover over this. If you are not, then I recommend that you prime it before you paint it. And I started with a paintbrush, but I don't like the brush stroke, so I moved to a foam dabber and just went in a dabbing motion until the base of the bottle cap was covered. I'm going to allow that to dry, so I set it aside. I found these wood eggs from Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack of 4 or a pack of 2. I'm only going to be using 3 of them, and I painted those in Wise Owl Higgins Lake. Now, of course, you could pick any color of your choice. You can even go back to your Easter stash and see if you have some foam eggs. But I like the solid wood ones that you can get from Hobby Lobby. They're pretty inexpensive. And again, I painted those in Higgins Lake. I used 3 of them, and I set those aside. I'm going to go back to my bottle cap, and I have this stencil. It says Farm Fresh Eggs. I got it from a bundle pack off of Amazon. You can use any picture cutout stencil that you want. You could probably even find a piece of scrapbook paper. And I'm going to place the stencil down in the center of the galvanized cap. Using a foam dabber and some more Wise Owl Higgins Lake, I'm going to cover the exposed part of the stencil that I want on my galvanized cap. I'm going to allow that to dry just a very little bit, and then I'm going to lightly go on top of the Higgins Lake with a little bit of black. You almost want your foam dabber dry, and I'm going to very lightly dab over the Higgins Lake, giving it almost a speckled look. And then I'm going to remove my stencil. I'm going to be working with epoxy. You want equal parts of epoxy, but you really want to read the instructions based on the brand that you purchase, but most of the brands I get are equal parts. You have a part A and a part B. I put it in a cup and I mix it around. Once you stir it really well, again, looking at your instructions, depending on the brand that you get, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to brush a little epoxy onto the flat part of my egg, and then I'm going to place it down onto the bottom of the galvanized cap. Now, you know this takes a little bit to cure, usually overnight. So I took some blue painter's tape and I'm going to hold that in place on the bottom of my bottle cap. I used 2 pieces per egg. So I made sure it was nice and secure, and I flipped it over. I'm going to take the remaining of the epoxy and pour it in the center of my bottle cap, covering my Farm Fresh Eggs stencil. Again, I did not prime because I planned on using the epoxy. If you're not going to cover it, I do recommend you prime over metal. I then have these pre-painted half wood beads, and I'm going to go around the outer edge of the galvanized cap and glue them in place, covering the pre-drilled holes from the hanger. And there you go. Now we have this easy farmhouse raised tray. I hope you enjoyed it. Paint products, tissue paper transfers, mesh stencils, wood cutouts can all be found at chalkatafancy.com.